Welcome everyone to another episode of Tips from My Garage. My name is Lisiate Tonga. I am the father of two boys, husband to a beautiful wife, owner of online business Upgrade Version U.0, and author of ebook Q&A Between Two Addicts. And today I want to talk to you about not waiting, not waiting to hit rock bottom. The title of this episode will be Don't Wait for Rock Bottom. So I want to start out by telling you a story. I have a, I had a good friend of mine when I was in that other world. We were very close. We spent a lot of time together. We were like two peas in a pod. We were very like minded. We had the same aspirations. Well, in terms of what our values were, what we believed was important to us at the time, and that was really just living for the moment. We partied hard. We did things the way we wanted. We lived for the moment. There wasn't really too much in the way of aspirations or goals or things that we wanted to do with our lives that was productive or that would progress us to the next stages of our lives. We were both single, we were both bachelors. We kind of just flew by the seat of our pants, and we loved that lifestyle. When I turned 35 and I decided to change the direction, he was like a stubborn thorn in my side because he continued to pressure and pressure me into staying in that world when really what I wanted to do was leave that world so I could move on with my life. And so it was a really huge challenge for us to finally separate and to go our different ways, because he felt like we were sort of joined at the hip and that we weren't ever going to be apart from each other, that would always be in each other's lives. And to be honest, in at that stage of my life, I was really wanting something else. I was unfulfilled. I didn't feel like the direction that I was going to be fruitful. I knew it wasn't fruitful. It wasn't at all. And if I wasn't going to change, then that was never going to change. And so I made the change, and eventually we parted ways and we went in different directions. I was older than him, and so I think I was older than him by like 7 or 8 years. And after some time, he saw the way that I was living my life, and that I was making progress, and he was surprised at the progress that I was making. And he said to himself, and he said to me as well, well, look, you were 35 when you made the change in your life, and you're headed in the right direction now. So I'm 28 now, and that means that I've got another 7 years before of living my life the way that I want to live it before I have to make any changes for myself. Well, we went our separate ways, and over the years, over the next 7 years leading up to when he turned 35, he got really deep into drugs, the hard drugs, ice and speed and everything else that you could think of. And he just started to lose everything. He lost his house, the relationship he was in, he lost his family was really worried about him. He ended up getting locked up for a period of time. So that period of time that he was trying to live his best life or live for the moment or thought that he had time to live, his life went to crap, and then he lost everything. And I came back into his life after that and was trying to support him while he was going through the court processes and all of those sort of things. I share that story with you because there are people out there right now, you might be one of them, that are lying to yourselves, that are saying that, yeah, I I'm young, so I still have time, just like my friend said to himself. I'm stronger. I have enough time to change. I'm not going in the wrong direction. Nothing bad is going to happen to me. These kind of lies that you're telling yourselves is really, first of all, they're an excuse to keep you in the same lifestyle, to keep you doing the same things, to keep you addicted to your vices. When you get used to having instant gratification, it's really hard to turn that off and want to delay that gratification, because that means that you have to be patient and you have to wait things out. And that's difficult to do when you've lived your life with a consistent dopamine hit every time that you get a chance to. And so not only is it an excuse for you to stay in the life that you're living, but it is also a trap. It is a trap that you don't know that you're setting for yourself. And that trap is, at the worst end of it, is a deadly trap. And I'll tell you the reason why it's a deadly trap is because the longer that you wait, the more complicated, the more complex things become. And I, I like to use this analogy. I call it the kicking the can analogy, where we just say, we don't need to do this now, we'll do it later. So that can, and you call that can the change can, you kick it down you kick it down the road. And the thing about kicking that down the road is that time passes by and you get more wound up in your vices, and they become a lot more integrated into your being. And so the next time you get to the can when you're down the street, it's a little bit heavier than it was before. And you still continue to kick it. And the thing is that eventually you're going to get to the can and you're not going to be able to kick it. And it's going to, because it's so full of weight, and this weight now becomes like cement on your feet. It's like your feet are sunken into cement that's hardened and you can't move. And that's what it feels like. And that's why it's a trap, because you'll feel like you're in your place where I cannot change what I'm doing. There's no light at the end of this tunnel. There's no way I can break free from this grip that this cement has hardened around my feet. I can't get loose from it. So things get harder, they get more complicated, and it becomes more difficult to break free from. And the thing is, first of all, it's never too late to change. And what feels difficult now, and if you think it is difficult now, if you wait longer, it's going to become even more difficult. And so that's why now is the time to change and not later, even though it may feel like it is difficult now. There, it may feel like that. It may seem like that. It may seem like there's no light anywhere. There's no hope for you. You're in a downward spiral and you can't change the trajectory. It will feel like that. And that's like a kind of a two-way thing, because there's a part of your brain that wants you to believe that that's the situation, that it's dire and that you can't change that. Because if you can't change that and your brain sells you into believing that you can't change that, then you're going to stay with your vices. And that's what your brain wants you to do. It doesn't want you to leave your vices, because it really needs the relief whenever it can get it. And the way that you've been giving yourself relief is instant. And the problem with that is that it continues to push you in the wrong direction, and make you feel like everything is hopeless. If you're in a situation where you think that it's dire and that you cannot change it, Believe me when I say this, that even though that feels difficult, it will be even more difficult later. So today is a better time than ever to change that trajectory and to not believe the lies that your brain is going to tell you, because it's saying to you, you can't change this, you can't change this anymore, so that you just get sold on the fact that you're hopeless. Because once you're sold on the fact that you're hopeless, then your brain's won. Then it has your vice for the rest of your life. It can be potentially for the rest of your life. Don't fall for that trap. Don't fall for that trap. You want to take a stand now wherever it is that you are, and even though it may feel like everything is hopeless, it's dire, you're a hopeless cause, nothing can change you, this is all wrong. There is nothing is impossible. Absolutely nothing is impossible. You can change where you're at now, and you won't see that things can get more difficult, or you don't want to see that things can get more difficult later on. Your degree of difficulty, your difficulty is different from somebody else's difficulty. It's subjective. And so what you think might be difficult, it may not be difficult at all, but to you it is. But that's what I'm saying. Take the chance and to face the fear of the unknown. And I guess I say the fear of the unknown because that's what change is. Change means that you have to do something different than what you normally used to doing, and you don't know where that's going to lead you. And that fear of the direction that you might go if you change yourself, that creates anxiety, it creates fear. This is what keeps people staying doing the familiar thing, even though they know in their brain and in their heart that it's the wrong thing to do. Is change going to be difficult? Yeah, change is going to be difficult. But you know what's going to be more difficult? The path that you're on is going to get a lot more difficult. And the thing is that you're not just affecting yourself, you're affecting everybody around you. Everyone that you love, everyone that you're close to, even your professional life, your personal life, you're affecting everybody. You think that you're doing this to yourself, you're not. You have no idea whose hearts you're breaking around you. And I had zero idea. Well, I didn't even think of it because I was so so selfish, I suppose, that I just thought of myself only, and I didn't think of how I was affecting anyone else. And that is, and people that are in the throes of addiction, they are selfish. They do think of themselves. And I don't want to say that in a bad sense. I'm not trying to throw arrows at people that have addictions and that tell them that they're selfish, but they're not really in the state to think of the way that they're affecting other people because they're so engrossed in their own reality or trying to escape it that there's nothing else that is important to them at this time. There's a lot of things that should be important, but they're not important to them. What, and the thing is that you can change and everyone can change and it is possible. And it's better for you to fumble forward than to be speeding in the wrong direction. And once you figure out yourself, because you can't run around trying to solve other people's problems or be better for your family or be better for your relationships, your professional life, until you better yourself. Because that everything is going to start with you. You change yourself, then you can change the things around you. It's not the other way around. Don't wait until rock bottom to decide, okay, now is when I'm going to make the change. You don't have time. Your life isn't going to get better. Things aren't just going to fall out of the sky and you're going to one day change. You're not going to be able to change when you think that you're going to change, or you're not going to be able to drop things at the drop of a hat. You're not in control of the things that you think you're in control of. Stop lying to yourself. Make the change. Start it today and fumble your way forward. And when you fumble your way forward, eventually you'll find your footing, and then you'll head in the right direction. And then once you take care of yourself, then you'll be able to start taking care of the things and the people around you, and then you'll be able to affect everything that's in your proximity positively. But you can't do that until you're heading in the right direction yourself. So I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you next time.